I'm Hannah, and I am an illustrator who lives in Osaka, Japan, studying illustration at a school there. But I am currently in Seoul, South Korea, where I lived for about over 4 years teaching English. And I am visiting my boyfriend and my cat. And today we're going to be going to a cafe to do some sketching. So this is everything I'm going to bring with me to the cafe to sketch today. This is just a really simple tripod that was actually a freebie with a larger tripod. This is one of those tripods that has movable legs, but honestly it's usually a pain in the ass to use. So I'm going to bring both and see which one I prefer. I still haven't decided yet. I have this water pen that I'm going to use. So it drips out water, and I'm going to use it with my tiny palette of watercolor. It's already been used quite a lot. And I always feel comfortable with this brush pen, so I'm going to bring it. It's just a nice calligraphy brush pen. And just in case I feel unsure, I'm going to bring one pencil. In case I have a hard time thinking of what to draw, I have this adorable book, just maybe to loosen me up and cheer me up while I'm at the cafe. And I'm also going to bring these special paints because they kind of make me more playful, because they're these like metallic paints that really you can't scan and make a product out of. So basically when I use these, I'm like, well, that's just for fun. I'm gonna bring my AirPods just so I can relax. And I'm not gonna use a sketchbook. I have this clipping board with Jordy from Cacao Friends. It's very cute. And then I just have some like postcards, some that are like already have paint on them that can maybe be used, and these offcuts of paper from school. And this also helps me feel more relaxed, like I'm not using serious materials but leftovers. And I'm gonna bring this rag to also maybe wipe up the paint when I'm painting, and it is dirty, but it's all dried paint, so I think it'll be fine. So let's pack these up and get ready to go. Do you want to come to the cafe? Okay. So here is my simple setup, and I'm going to start with my watercolors because I find them very loose and easy to use. And I'm going to draw my iced latte because it's something particular to this cafe, and it's something that can help me remember the experience. So my first tip is basically to not invest in art supplies or recording gear before you've even started doing this. I frankly use stuff as long as I can or whatever I can. So the watercolors that I have in this palette are watercolors I got probably 6 years ago for free. The tripod is free and I'm using my phone to record. So for me, there's a few reasons why I think this is important. One, obviously, I don't want to invest my money prior to even doing something because one, I may not like doing it, and two, I'll feel bad for investing this money, and three, I think it's best that you spend the time doing something rather than worrying about the tools. I think we often get very obsessed about the tools, what's the best pen, what's the best paint, and frankly, although those things can help, I think, level up your art or level up your recording situation, I think the most important thing is to start. So I would suggest that if this is something you're interested in doing, first, maybe if you're too scared to record in public, just try drawing. And so for art supplies, I suggest to use what you are most comfortable with using that aren't expensive, so you're not worried about wasting it, and they have to be easy to transport. So for me, I didn't used to use watercolor at all out in public. For years, I just used pencil, ballpoint pen, micron pen, and calligraphy brush. And I only got this little palette this year, basically so I could include more color in my work. A bonus tip is to try something new, like these metallic paints. I painted them on top of the watercolor, which I'd never done before, and I really liked the effect of this accent metallic sheen. Okay, so for my second sketch, I'm drawing the interior of the cafe. Specifically, there's this nice wall to my left that has a window with the name of the cafe and looking out to a building, and there's a little balcony. It's very cute, and I'm using much simpler supplies so I don't feel too overwhelmed by the subject matter. So, my tip number 2 is to choose a place where it is easy to set up, draw, and record. So I would argue it's pretty easy to draw anywhere. But if you want to record yourself, you have probably a tripod, and you're going to require more space to set up your tripod and to set up your art supplies. So I would recommend a place where there are tables and chairs for you to sit. And for me, living in Seoul, this has primarily been cafes. Also, another thing to consider is when are they the most or the least crowded? So I went on a Sunday morning and I thought it would be, pretty quiet for the first hour or so. But Seoul people do not get up very early, and it didn't start to pick up until maybe 2 or 3 almost in the afternoon, which gave me tons of time to draw. And then also, I would suggest going to a place that maybe you've already been to before. So if you've already scouted the place out, you kind of know which area you would want to sit in, you kind of know which part of the place is that you want to draw. So I've been to this cafe several times. I knew that I wanted to go to the 3rd floor, and it was very easy for me to choose my seat. Now, you can't always do this, and that's fine, but if you're really self-conscious in the beginning, I think it's nice because you already have an idea of what you want, and you already kind of feel like you own the place because you've been there before and you're an old pro, and that can help boost some confidence. Now we're on to my 3rd drawing, where I will be choosing a picture from this little book to paint from. And I've decided to draw from here because there really are no people for me to spy on and draw. And this brings me to tip number 3, which is don't care about people looking at you. Set up and draw with no fear. Really, nobody cares that much, and if they do look, they'll probably be nice or they'll say nothing. If it's hard for you to set up and draw people, which I was going to do, I suggest bringing a book with some references you like I did. This kind of gives you a purpose instead of feeling the pressure of finding either a person or maybe something in the interior that you like. You kind of have this book to already give you some specific work that you got to do, and it kind of makes you look like you have some kind of purpose. Maybe you're doing homework, or you're just here to work, you're not here to sketch your surroundings, so you feel like maybe people are not going to judge you as much. And also, in the beginning, drawing people, you might be more afraid that people might notice that you're looking at them. But I've noticed over about, I think, 5 years of pretty consistently drawing people in public, nobody really notices. Everybody's pretty busy in their own life, eating, drinking, having a good time with their friends. They really don't notice you drawing them, or at least that's been my experience so far. On this drawing, I kind of wanted to experiment by mixing materials. So I did the hat with all just the metallic paint, which frankly I didn't like. I kept trying to layer it and make it thicker, but it was just too clear. So I realized that what I did earlier with the coffee and just sort of painting it on top of the watercolor I had already put down was a much better strategy. So I feel like I really learned something. And instead of using watercolor for the fur, I thought the calligraphy brush would create a much stronger flat fur color, and it would dry much more quickly, so it would be easier to work on and I could layer it immediately. So it was fun, but I think next time I will definitely try a different approach. Hey, so I've been drawing at the cafe for like about an hour and a half. I think I'm ready to maybe get a bagel, but it's just been so relaxing to draw here. I feel like I haven't made anything like exactly exceptional, but I think it's really nice to go out and sketch and get out of your comfort zone. So I'm gonna keep chilling here for a while and maybe I'll draw a bagel. We'll see. So I'm on my way home from filming and sketching at the cafe, and I just want to remind you that nothing has to be perfect. The drawings don't have to be perfect. If you do choose to record in public, that doesn't have to be perfect either. And just remember to not really care what other people think, and that's the most important thing when it comes to doing things that are kind of uncomfortable in public and in life. Thanks for watching. Bye.